Hey guys, I just want to take a brief moment to talk to you about an amazing platform called Anchor. It is actually what I use for this podcast and another podcast. And for a while, it was extremely hard for me to find the right host, the right service. And I was browsing everywhere and stumbled across the app. And I've been using it ever since. Anchor really is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. I love it because I put, the episodes together, put them up, upload them there, and it distributes them to everywhere that podcasts can be heard and need to be heard. The ability to do it on my mobile, add things, call-ins, it's all come in handy, when I'm in a bind and can't exactly be at home to record. So, and the best thing is it's free to use. So if you want to start a podcast, if you've thought about it, do it. All you have to do is go to anchor.fm/start. Again, that is anchor.fm/start to join me and the whole community. And I look forward to hearing your podcast.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you're ready for another episode of Tales from Helheim.
Was he holding a knife? This story took place my sophomore year of high school. I was a 15-year-old girl, young for my grade. It was a Wednesday in the winter. I joined the honor society at my school. Besides meeting and talking about how to help with the community, we also had to meet at 7:20 a.m., which was 25 minutes before school. Since I wasn't a morning person, missing more time to sleep was always frustrating. That's why I was always late, which on this day I was running late. Being 15, I couldn't drive myself to school, so I had to have my grandma, who lives with my mother and I, take me to school, since at this time my mother would be in the bathroom, putting on makeup before work. My grandma opened the garage with a button on the garage wall. Both my grandma and I got into her car, which was parked in the garage, of course. Once closing the door, she would pull out into the driveway. Now, she looked back towards the front windshield to pull out right towards the street to our cul-de-sac, and I screamed to stop, and she quickly slammed on the brakes. There was a tall man, about 6 foot, dirty blonde looking hair, wearing all black. He was only illuminated by the headlights, since in winter mornings it was pitch dark and today it was raining. I noticed something in his hand. Being the observant person I was, I thought I saw a black handle. The man didn't look at us, explain himself, or wave a hand to say sorry. He just stopped in front of the light for about 3 seconds before continuing to walk through our yard towards our neighbor's house. We watched him disappear in the dark. I live in a neighborhood where we all know each other and watch out for each other. We all own about 1 acre of a yard. Recently, my neighbors have been having work done around their house, with taking down some trees and fixing up their house. So my grandma, with her heart of gold, continued driving as we discussed what just happened. She assumed that he was just a worker. I knew he wasn't. I told her I thought he had a knife, and she brushed it off, saying, maybe it was just a worker holding a dustpan or a shovel. He could have just been using our yard as a shortcut, but no. Something told me I had to warn my mother. So I began trying to text my mother, but no texts were sending. Nothing was going through. I text, lock the door, but when it went through, she didn't understand. She questioned me, saying, "What? Why?" At this point, I called her, quickly explaining the situation and yelling at her to bolt lock the door. She did, and not a second later, he opened our screen door and tried to open our door handle. When it didn't work, he tried to knock the door down. My mother then called the police. I don't know how quickly the police arrived, but we live in a small town, so I assume the response time was fast. When the police arrived, she told them what happened, and they wrote up a report. Later that morning, the man was found a couple roads down. He tried to get into some other houses too when he ended up getting into a house, and a man chased him out with a shotgun. He was caught and arrested, found with a large butcher knife. Although this isn't an extreme story, it always holds a lot of what-ifs. What if I hadn't been late? What if I hadn't gotten a hold of my mom? And the biggest one of all, what if I wasn't late and my grandma would have asked him if he needed help? I'm now a junior in high school and it's been about a year, but the effects of this encounter still haunt me. I'm afraid to be alone. I will double check or even triple check locks and listen intently to the sounds of my house when trying to go to sleep. If I hear something, I'll try to go check it out. He's made me paranoid, but I guess my fears are rational. Who expects their own home to be the site of a creep encounter? Just another reason to pull your feet up and tuck yourself in, 'cause you never know what's waiting to grab you.